Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So my birthday is at the end of this week, and to treat myself I decided to go see not one but two musicals this month. The first one I saw this past weekend was Dear Evan Hansen, and I thought it would be nice to do a musical review on it. Now, before I went to see this musical, I didn't know anything. I'd seen a few clips here and there on YouTube, and I'd absolutely fallen in love with the song You Will Be Found, which I'd found on Spotify. But besides that, I didn't really know anything about the story. I do want to share a bit about the story, but I don't want to give away any spoilers. So I'm using the plot they've written down on Stage Agent. It says, Dear Evan Hansen tells the story of a young man with social anxiety disorder who so yearns to make a connection with his peers that he fabricates a relationship with a deceased student to become closer to the boy's family. When a classmate commits suicide, shy Evan Hansen finds himself at the center of the tragedy and turmoil. In a misguided attempt to comfort the boy's grieving family, Evan pretends that he was actually good friends with their son. He invents a fabricated email account to prove their friendship, and when a fake suicide note makes its way online, Evan finds himself the unintended face of a viral video about loneliness and friendship. That is what the song You Will Be Found is about. As his social currency skyrockets, Evan is drawn deeper and deeper into the lie. His relationship with his actual mother wanes in comparison to that of his shiny new family. He finally lands the girl of his dreams, and most importantly, he's no longer invisible. Eventually, Evan is forced to make a decision. Will he give himself over to the fantasy he's created, or will he bite the bullet and risk losing everything he ever wanted? There are a few really good themes going on that start with the first song, which is sort of the relationship between mothers and their teenage sons. It's difficult to be a parent of a teenager because teenagers by nature just want to defy everything that their parents say or do. So when parents say yes, they say no. It's always the opposite. And the first song, the mums so both Evan's mum and the dead friend's mum, they both sing about sort of, has anybody got a map? Can anybody tell me what to do? Because I don't know how to navigate this world with teenage boys. But the song, does anybody have a map? Anybody maybe happen to know how the hell to do this? It can sort of be applied to anything in life. I will be turning 27 on Sunday, and I still have no clue what to do with my life, which is why I'm an au pair, because I don't know what I want to do for the rest of my life. I don't know what kind of job I want. I don't even know what country I want to live in. So yeah, does anybody have a map? Anybody maybe happen to know how the hell to do this thing called life or parenting, jobs, relationships, anything? That song has been stuck in my head ever since I've seen the musical. And it's a great narration for life, and that's the way the musical starts. So from the get-go you're like, yeah, I'm into this, I understand these struggles. The musical also has a great balance between being light and funny. It's hilarious at times, but it does have a dark subject. It does talk about suicide, it does talk about social anxiety, about being alone, not having any friends, the fun of being a teenager. It talks about all these very difficult subjects. It keeps it light, but it also has those moments where the entire audience just goes quiet. And it's amazing. It was absolutely brilliant. I sat on row S, I don't know what row that is, but sort of in the back. So I had a really good view, not just over the stage, but also over the entire audience. And at times there were sort of very tense moments or very sad moments where the entire audience was just quiet and very still. And it was really cool to see. Because it also talks about suicide, there's also the part about how different people deal with loss. Some people shut down, some people want to talk about it. Everybody deals with grief in their own way, and this is something that the musical also touches on. So not only the story was great, the acting, the singing was absolutely amazing. I've seen a lot of musicals, but most of the musicals I've seen are really big stage productions. I've seen Mary Poppins, I've seen Dirty Dancing, Tarzan, The Lion King. Before this one, the most recent musical I saw is a musical I saw in the Netherlands. It's called Soldier of Orange. It's actually coming to London at the end of 2020, I think. But that has a wraparound stage. So basically the audience sits on a rotating platform in the middle and the stage goes all around, and it is the most amazing thing ever. Compared to this, which has very simplistic staging, it has a very small stage. It's not a big theatre, it's just very intimate, and just a bed is a bedroom. Just a sofa is a living room. It's very simplistic, but you don't need it. This musical just proves that you don't necessarily need the humongous stage production to tell a story and to make an impact, to make people laugh and to make people cry. There was definitely a point in a musical where I really wanted to cry. Unfortunately, I was by myself and felt a bit awkward crying while I was there by myself. But then during the intermission, the woman behind me was telling her friends about how she was sort of holding it in, how she was trying to force herself to just let the tears out and not start sort of making any noise, any crying noises. I was like, if only, because it left me with this feeling of wanting to cry for a bit. But then there were also these moments where you were laughing again, and it was a great balance. As I just said, in terms of production, this is probably not one of the most amazing musicals I've seen. Staging, that kind of stuff. But in terms of story, I think this must be one of my favourite musicals I've seen. In terms of musicals, this might also be the first musical I've seen that isn't based on a very well-known story. As I've just mentioned, I've seen Mary Poppins and Tarzan and all those kind of big musicals of stories that we all know and love, which made it more interesting, actually, I think, because I had no idea what was going to happen, what was going to go on. Yeah, all in all, I think definitely this musical ends up in my top 3 favourite musicals ever. I might actually have to put it number 2 so far, behind Soldier of Orange, just because that is Soldaat van Oranje, just because that is something in and of itself. That is a whole different ball game. Yeah, I absolutely love it. I definitely recommend it. So yeah, if you get a chance to come to London and see the musical, definitely do it. In 2 weeks I will be seeing Book of Mormon, and I might do a review of that one as well. So hope you like this video. If you've seen the musical, please share what you thought about it. I would love to know, and see you in my next video.